Alright, this is Stevie, General Principal, back with my XR100. I got the plastic stripped down. Got that tank was cracked and Dad plastic welded it, sanded it down so it doesn't look like a glob. Just been riding it out here. My cousins came over yesterday and I taught my cousin how to work the clutch on it, and he was ripping it all around yesterday, and it's been doing good. Been proving its worth. So I'm accumulating some parts. I got enough stuff to wire up a headlight on this thing, and wondering how I'm doing that. I saw a video. I'll put the link down to that guy's channel that I originally saw the video on, but he showed me that you can wrap the poles inside underneath the stator cover and run the wires back up through here, and you can hook up a voltage regulator and run it with no battery and run a headlight on it. So got this headlight from Tractor Supply on sale, and got it mounted up. To mount it, I just found a screw that was long enough to go through the original mounting hole and put a washer in there so it didn't push the plastics, and I think it's gonna work good. It's gonna be really bright. It's supposed to be able to supply 100 watts with 18 gauge wire, and this is only gonna draw 20 watts, it says, so that'll be plenty good for this little bike, not take away any power really. So I'm gonna finish mocking up this headlight and probably pull off the side cover, so let's get to it. All right, I'm back with my lighting coil on my 100. But anyway, with this lighting coil, you get it wound like this. You wrap it 60 turns with 18 gauge wire, winding wire. You go clockwise. If you start, whichever one you start on, you start with clockwise, then you go counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise. And then at the end, you terminate it to this stake right here. This goes directly to earth ground or the frame of the chassis. I'm checking it right on that shifter bolt because it connects to everything. But that terminates the earth ground. Then the other one, you run up to here at the end. Right here, you just solder it onto a piece of wire, run it up, hide your wiring up in there. Then these two pink wires are factory through the grommet, and then you solder them onto there and heat shrink it down. Then you can just pull the pink wires up here, and this goes to the AC inlet of your voltage regulator. And I'll show you how you wire that in a little bit. I've been fighting with this wiring on this voltage regulator for like 2 days now, and it's been driving me insane. First, I was having a hard time getting this to work, but what I just showed you is correct. It produces 11 to about 10, 9 to 11 at idle, and when you rev it up, it go up to like 20, maybe more, somewhere around there. But that is good in spec. All right, I purchased this 4-pin Chinese voltage regulator rectifier that works. Okay. This is a 2-phase, but I think 3-phase would work fine. But if you want to get the exact same thing, this is just a 4-wire little Chinese voltage regulator. It's a 2-phase, and it came with a connector. I just snipped it off so I can hand wire it on. Okay. It has the spec in there for the wiring, but what it is yellow and pink go to your AC hot, or outputted out of the alternator, I guess you could call it. The green goes to ground, which I just have grounded up here. And then this is your AC output, and that goes to your positive wire of your headlight, and then the negative just gets grounded on the frame. So that's simple. So now I'm going to heat shrink all this because I had to cut it off to get these out of here. Heat shrink it all, put it back up in here so it's going to look factory. And I also got a handlebar switch that I'll show you when I have it all mounted and wired and heat shrinked and all pretty like. So let's get to it. All right, so it's been a little bit since I've worked on this thing. So as you can see, I got a different headlight on here. Reason being, that big headlight that I had on there was just too big and it was heavy. Because the way I have it mounted is I just have it through that thing, the little bracket that holds, it's got a little bent bracket that holds this from bending up and down. It just had so much weight, it was just bending it down and just flopping all over the place. So I just saved it for another project. You can buy 2 of these LEDs like this with just the wire coming out of here in this bracket for $10. So that's what I went. And I got a spare if this one ever burns out. And it's pretty bright. I just wired it in the same way I had before, just without a connector. And yeah, that's it. It's a little flickery at idle. The camera shows it more, but when you give it some gas, it smooths out. You can't see how bright it is, really. Yeah, you can't really tell. It's too bright outside, but it's pretty bright. It doesn't no problem. Got a switch on there, so I don't have to have it running all the time. Okay. So I wanted to do a wrap-up talk on the headlight for the XR100. This is after I got the frame all done and redone. Hopefully you've seen part 1 and 2 on this thing where I repainted it and stuff. I gotta sand the rear fender and do a couple other little things, but anyway, those cheap little LEDs I was talking about, saying good things about, they're terrible. They immediately burn out, both of them. So I just have this old halogen one sitting around, and it's nowhere near as bright, and because it draws more watts at idle. But yeah, this will work for now. Someday I'll get another LED. But if you're buying an LED, just make sure you get a small pod that's light and try to get an LED one. Tractor Supply has some nice small ones about this size that would work good. So, should have bought those, but I didn't. Yeah. Oh, and I also moved the voltage regulator. I'll have to show you. Oh, I can't show you now. Instead of over top of the air vent, I drilled 2 holes and just mounted it flat on top of the air box. So it's out of the way and doesn't restrict any airflow going into the motor. So, and then here's that switch there, got there. But, all right, thanks for watching, y'all.